How does the undeniable mother of makeup go from a $1 billion valuation to filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy in a Florida court? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are stripping away the gold packaging and the sequins to look at the cold hard numbers. On January 22nd, 2026, Pat McGrath Labs filed for Chapter 11 protection bankruptcy. This was a desperate move to stop a forced auction of the Pat McGrath assets. We're talking about liabilities worth over $50 million. This was something that I mentioned in a new makeup releases video, how the auction was supposed to take place at the end of January. But before that auction took place, we have a Chapter 11 filing from the brand. As a marketer and as a journalist, I definitely see something deeper to this entire story. This isn't just about bad loans. This is about a brand that misunderstood its customer for years. Okay, let's look at the timeline. Back in 2018 and 2021, the brand was the unicorn of the beauty industry. Investors poured money in because prestige was selling, but fast forward to 2025 and 2026, it's not. According to court filings, the brand was drowning. They sought emergency court approval for a loan of just over $1 million recently. Literally just to pay employees and keep the lights on during the court battle. Think about that. The brand is selling $128 pallets and they didn't have the cash flow to pay their employees. And this brings me to why the cash stopped flowing. In my opinion, Pat McGrath committed 3 cardinal sins in the modern day beauty market. The pricing barrier. We're in 2026. The economy has definitely shifted, and asking the average consumer to spend on average $128 for an eyeshadow palette repeatedly is very out of touch. When you price yourself that high, you're selling a dream, but eventually people are going to wake up and realize that they don't want to pay $130 for an eyeshadow palette. They realize that they could get 90% of that quality that the Pat McGrath formula is offering for 30% of that price elsewhere. Because let's face it, drugstore makeup has been banging lately, and there's also other luxury brands who price their eyeshadow palettes at a lot less, and they are competitors of Pat McGrath. This is why Natasha Denona stopped selling $130 palettes and she started producing her midi palettes, which retail for $69 and they feature 15 eyeshadows. She started selling her eyeshadows at a more affordable price point because she saw that the $130 price point just was not feasible for her target consumer. Natasha Denona is considered among luxury in the beauty space, and she's a direct competitor of Pat McGrath Labs. The repeat release fatigue. This is a huge cardinal sin that Pat McGrath did commit. How many times can we buy Divine Rose? How many Star Wars collabs do we need? And from a marketing perspective, this screams cash grab. When a brand stops innovating their color stories and their product and starts repackaging the same product and color story in different boxes, let's face it, okay? It tells the consumer, we're out of ideas, but we still want your money. Cardinal sin number 3, lazy luxury. For years, the mothership palettes were the sacred cow of the beauty space, untouchable quality. Amazing reviews. But while the motherships remained consistent, the peripheral releases started to crack. We saw holiday releases and collections as well as other collaborations that felt very unfinished. While the quality of the mothership palettes has not noticeably changed according to beauty reviewers, it has been seen and noted in other products that Pat McGrath has currently released, such as their holiday collections and collaborations, that they have been subpar. They don't meet the same quality and standard as the mothership palettes. The Star Wars collaboration is definitely a prime example of this. When Pat McGrath Labs was caught literally stickering, oh my gosh, this was such a huge controversy. Pat McGrath Labs was caught putting a sticker on the Star Wars collaboration on an old mothership palette that was presumably not selling and calling it new. This was the Midnight Sun mothership palette that she rebranded as the Star Wars collaboration. Another collaboration to make note of is the Bridgerton collaboration that resulted in a lot of quality issues. And some users actually noted allergic reactions to the eyeshadow formula who had previously not had allergic reactions to any of Pat McGrath's eyeshadow formulas in the past. Allergies that have not previously been experienced by consumers, and then all of a sudden they are allergic to the eyeshadow formula that they knew and loved. Does that mean that the formula changed? These collaborations, these subpar releases, they did not bode well for this brand. It broke trust with their customers. And we forgave the high prices, we forgave the repetitive, color stories, but when it came down to the actual quality dropping from the brand, but still expecting that high price point, that was literally the point of no return when consumers started seeing through the haze of the label. Pat McGrath really relied on the Pat McGrath name to push her brand forward and do the heavy lifting while product was just lazy. Product development was lazy. So what happens next for Pat McGrath Labs? Chapter 11 doesn't necessarily mean that the brand is closing. It just means that they are putting a pause button on it to restructure their assets, and it allows them to reconfigure how the brand is going to be working coming forward. But okay, I have a prediction for 2026 about the beauty landscape. So if Pat McGrath Labs does survive this bankruptcy, it's not going to be the same brand. We might see a buyout from a larger conglomerate like L'Oreal or Estee Lauder. And if that happens, honestly, we can expect to see the prices drop, but also the quality of the product drop, which, I mean, it's been dropping already, so, While no official buyer has been confirmed, according to Yahoo Finance reports, the brand's reputation as a beauty unicorn makes it a potential target for companies looking for prestige. That is according to Cosmetic Business and Yahoo Finance. Okay, so even if the brand stays independently owned and not under an umbrella corporation, not under an umbrella corporation such as Estee Lauder or L'Oreal, we will see drastic changes in launches, in quality of product, and as well in packaging. Think reduced product availability, pricing changes, and quality changes. The era of the untouchable luxury makeup brand is coming to an end. It's honestly, is it officially over? That is the real question here. The consumer is honestly too smart and frankly too broke for this kind of business model. We just are. It's 2026. We can't afford $130 eyeshadow palettes that look exactly the same as the last eyeshadow palette that was released. I want to hear from you in the comments down below. Do you think $128 of a price point for an eyeshadow palette is what killed the brand and the momentum, or was it the repetitive releases, or was it the quality issues? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a conversation. And if you want more unbiased beauty news that follows the story, not the hype, make sure that you're subscribed to my channel, and I hope I get to see you in the next one. Bye!